Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, guys. Last episode we went to eat with Shizune and Misha, and those two told me a little more about the clubs, like what is there and what I liked, and we ended up in the conclusion, although reluctantly, that their student council has room from the clubs, and Shizune is also the president of the student council. So we went to see the student council room and played Risk, a board game, in there. And it was a plot to use reverse psychology and taunt me, or Hisao, to join the student council, which got us into the answer of maybe. And now we finished the game with Shizune and Misha and went to search for the library. And once we opened a random door, this screen awaited us. A pretty girl sitting at a desk. And it truly was not what we were expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Wait, there's no teacup there. Hello there. May I help you? Wavy-haired girl. She looks really like sweet and kinda a really gentle soul. Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that and a slight cloudiness to her eyes means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Yeah, I thought so. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it that you're a new student to Yamaku? Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lilly Sato. Pleased to meet you. Lilly Sato. Yeah, so she is half Japanese, unless Lilly is just a really... yeah, it has to be a foreigner's name. Lilly Sato. Okay. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. I like the waltz rhythmic song in the background. It goes by the 3 beat. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lilly herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offerer preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often in this classroom visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods. A small I can't read again. A small metallic tapping coming from the teacup, indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, I'm in the science room with Muto. She looks so goddamn elegant. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite the character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Hey, that's actually that's actually the first shot that we see of like ourselves, unless we don't count the prologue. As she sits down for tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lilly, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. Funny how would they say that the speech is well-bred when I'm just screwing up like all the dialogue here. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I sug. I seek you. It's like sequence. I seek you into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking of it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtimes. My duties as a class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lilly seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club from book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lilly does the same. Damn! It's evening already. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh, the time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Hisao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. Ah, no, it's okay. The library is still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lilly seems likely to know in any case. True. It's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking to you, Lilly. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it alright. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright. I was going to be talking to a librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's really hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. Yeah, I was thinking, like, how are we going to get there, but she has a walking stick. Or, like, a cane. That the blind people usually do. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had slipped in the handle of the bag of the floor. What did I just say? Cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. There we go. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lilly's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lilly's is for navigation. Together, we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs to my old school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lilly can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Aww. Ooh. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lilly! How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk while I was looking for it. A pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. It's okay for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. Jesus Christ. She's quick to reverse Lilly's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lilly doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lilly, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Lilly, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially from managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right. Wait. God, it's so hard to voice. Hisao, right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Yeah, of course, she needs to read in Braille because she's blind. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How's it any responsibility at all? I don't get, but her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But... So, there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look a little less tense. Well, I think about a third or fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? We get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome when they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows the revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lilly in snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at the desk either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. Is this that mysterious girl? Yeah. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself, as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least a third if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet with her own eyes. For a second I'm shocked and divert my eyes to the books in her hands, before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember what I walked up to her for. Okay, I guess we should apologize, because she probably is pretty shocked. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. I have no idea what kind of voice to give her. The librarian kinda took the... I guess I could give her the same voice as the librarian, but a little bit more like collected. Because I'm trying to be a little like panic oriented with the librarian, so... The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods, just a little. Okay. I take the seat next to her, and she hides herself behind her book. Life of P. Never heard of it. So, sorry again for startling you. I'm Hisao. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. I know. We are in the same class. Okay, so she is shy. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Yeah, kinda. Hanako. I'm Hanako. Hanako? That's a cute name. Well, I like in terms of names, I still like Shizune more. Like just purely in like the sense of the name, Hanako is still pretty beautiful. The child of a flower, I think, or something like that. I resist the urge to say that's a nice name, and just to have something to say, but really, it's the only thing that I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am, being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll just check these books if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers and the introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same and only pretending to be immersed in life of P. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. What? She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I? I'm gonna... Okay, without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. So is she nervous? Is she shy? Is she like... what's her deal? Shy is the first thing that comes to mind, though. Okay, and that's where we're going to leave this episode of Katawa Shoujo off. Thank you for watching, guys. And remember to tune in for the next episode. I'm interested in Hanako's backstory right now. But anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked, like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next episode of Katawa Shoujo. Bye bye.